The opinions expressed on this program are solely those of the hosts and their guests, and may not be shared without our expressed written consent.
Welcome to the debut episode of the Average Geek Show. My name's Philippe.
I'm Brian.
Hey, Brian, how's it going, buddy?
Tip top. Thank God it's Friday.
Right, seriously, dude. My day has been just absolutely insane. How about yours?
Nobody wants to hear about your day.
Oh, fine then. Well, hey, are you ready to tell all our nerd overlords out there about the big show we have?
I think they're ready for us to start.
You think so? Okay,
Yeah, I think
that's
so.
good. That's good. You know, we have been planning this episode for, I don't know, probably at least
eons.
Right? Yeah, a while. So we have a great show for you today.
Well, I think we should start off by introducing ourselves, telling you a little bit about who we are, what we do, and why we wanted to do this. First of all, Philippe?
So I've been wanting to do a podcast for a while. Again, right now I co-host a podcast with David Walters, who's a mutual friend of both of ours, called The Paranormal Wave. It's all about ghosts and UFOs and all that kind of good stuff.
All the weird shit.
All the weird stuff. You know, we've had a really big lull for a while, and I've really wanted to do a podcast again. Just something different. So I was like, it was interesting because Brian came back from Wisconsin about a month ago?
Oh, yeah, don't you know?
About a month ago, Brian came back. You know, I was like, the first thing we did, he came back like 2 or 3 days before Free Comic Book Day. My son Riley and I met Brian at the local comic book store here, and I just had remembered how much I love the whole being a geek and the whole geek culture and comic books and sci-fi and all that. And I thought, man, this would be, I really want to do a podcast about this. And I think almost the same day I texted you and I was like, dude, Brian, how would you like to do a geek podcast?
And I don't recall exactly what I said, but I think it was something along the lines of, hell yeah!
So, yeah, that was when the Average Geek Show was born. Since then, we've just been plugging away and doing posts on our Facebook page and on Twitter. And
Facebook.com/Average Geek Show Official.
Yeah, and Twitter.com
@Average Geek Show.
So we've been doing that. Right now we have a nice handful of fans, and you know, it's just great to be doing this.
Absolutely. We are really here to serve you guys. That's why our fans, you guys, are our nerd overlords. And that's why our tagline says, serving our nerd overlords. We really want you to be involved in the show. We want you to comment. We'll use your comments during the show. We'd love to start doing live stuff, you know, getting out, interacting with you guys. We'll definitely be at Comic-Con this year. So if you're coming out to Comic-Con, come down, say hello. We'll be the two dorks in the black T-shirts.
Yep.
Passing out flyers.
Exactly. We'll just be walking around, you know, trying to make friends. Will you guys be friends with us? I really hope you guys will be friends with us.
Won't you be my neighbor?
Won't you be my neighbor?
So, Philippe.
Yeah.
What was your first geek moment?
Oh, my God.
As far back as you can remember.
Oh, my gosh. I would have to say my first geek moment, I would be watching Star Trek, the original series, with my dad.
With Captain James
T. Kirk. Exactly. It had to be like in the 80s, you know, Star Trek was running on syndication. My dad is infamous for watching Westerns, which drives me crazy. He would always make me sit down and watch these stupid Westerns with like John Wayne and everybody, Davy Crockett and all this stuff, which just wasn't my thing.
Really? Davy Crockett?
Davy Crockett.
King of the Wild Frontier.
Exactly.
Oh my God. I'm sorry, continue.
So yeah, he wanted me to really watch that stuff, but I never liked it. So one time he brought me downstairs and he was like, "Hey, check this out. It's space exploration and
Little Philly,
do
you like movies about gladiators?
gladiators. What?
Airplane, dude.
Oh my god, dude, that movie's you know what's sad?
Ridiculous.
That movie is one of my favorite movies, and I didn't even recognize that line. I haven't seen that movie in a while, so it's probably time that I see it again.
I have it on DVD.
Oh, dude, so do I. It's
Is
great.
it still in the original cellophane?
I think it may be still
Oh
in the
my
original
God.
cellophane.
I'm sorry, we're getting off track. So you go downstairs with your dad.
Yeah. And, he basically introduces Star Trek to me. At the time, granted, it was made in the 60s, but even in the 80s, that was like, wow. Like the just all the special effects and everything was just amazing. And I was a big fan of other TV shows and other sci-fi shows like Buck Rogers, Flash Gordon, Battlestar Galactica, the original Battlestar Galactica. But Star Trek was right up my alley. It was this whole space exploration thing. And it really, it was from that moment on that I became a Trekkie. I always loved Star Wars. Star Wars was out and I loved it. It was one of the few things I could only watch because it wasn't over PG. So it was one of the few things that I could only watch and I loved it. But Star Trek always really spoke to me. The whole space exploration thing, meeting new life, new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before. That was just...
And it was all about acceptance unless you were a Gorn.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. They even accepted the Klingons, who for some reason didn't have the spine on their forehead. But we'll get back to that another time.
That's another show.
Right, that's another show. Why do the Klingons not have spines on their foreheads?
We might have to have a guest on for that because no, I'm not a Trekkie.
So yeah, but that was my favorite. That was when I got introduced to sci-fi. That's when I officially became a geek, and I've always kind of been like that. God, this sounds really geeky, but it doesn't really matter because this is what I am. But when I was a teenager, I wasn't like the popular guy, and I would always be made fun of and everything. So I would kind of keep to myself, and I would write Star Trek like stories,
You did Star Trek fanfic?
I did Star Trek fanfic, and it was amazing. But I did Star Trek fanfic that was a comedy.
I'm sorry, 2 seconds, Philippe. 2 seconds. Nerd! I'm sorry, I just had to get that
jealous.
out of my...
You're jealous. Jealous.
Well, just wait.
And probably the out of the 5 people that are going to be listening to this debut episode, one of them's probably going to be my friend from high school, and she's going to be like, "Oh my God, I remember all that crap that you made me read."
She's probably got a copy of it hidden somewhere that
she
don't know
probably does. I have no idea where all that stuff is, and she probably has it. So, Jen, if you do have it, please
post it on the Average Geek Show official at Facebook.com.
and tag me. So you could be like, "Hey, look what Philippe did when he was in high school, that geek."
Well, right on.
So Brian, what was your first geek moment?
My first geek moment, I had to have been like 6 or 7. And my aunts, I would go over to my grandmother's house during the summer. My grandmother would keep an eye on me while my mom worked. One day I was over there and my aunts sat me down and they said, "You need to watch this. This is a great movie. You're going to love it." And that movie turned out to be an original cut of the 1977 Star Wars.
Oh, the best.
Unaltered.
The best.
No CG. It was all puppets and guys in rubber suits.
The best.
They sat me down, and I was glued to that TV.
Yeah.
Then they told me there was 2 more movies.
Oh, my goodness.
I lost my little child mind. Although I did not like Return of the Jedi at first.
Yeah. Same here.
Because Jabba the Hutt scared the crap out of me.
Really? Really?
I don't know. It's something about that wagging tongue. Ooh. So from then on, I was all about Star Wars.
Right.
And this was a time when Star Wars was not that popular. It's not like today where you can go into any toy store or
Right.
any store for that matter
Right.
and buy action figures, clothes, backpacks, the whole gamut.
Yeah.
No. The only thing that was available for me to consume Star Wars related was the old 1970 action figures
Nice.
where you had to go to like an antique store to find them.
Right.
And of course, the Star Wars customizable card game.
I didn't know that they had that.
Oh yeah, it was
Really?
huge, and it played a lot like Magic the Gathering.
Oh, okay.
So here I am, 8 years old, going to school with a backpack full of cards, going, "You want to play Star Wars cards with me?"
So what you're saying is you were very popular with the girls.
Oh, absolutely. Who doesn't like Han Solo?
Yeah.
I love you. I know. So, yeah, I mean, I was just this little kid. I was really into Star Wars, and it wasn't until I got into like fifth or sixth grade that I actually met other kids that had the Star Wars cards.
Wow.
And it blew my mind because I'm like, you guys have these too? And, from there, it just my geekiness started to grow. I mean, as a kid, I was, of course, into Batman, the Ninja Turtles,
Right.
All that stuff. I grew up reading comic books. I mean, my stepdad took me to my first Comic-Con where I walked in, and this is back when Comic-Con was not so commercialized as it is now. It was about the comics. So you walk in, and there's just a smelly room full of comic books.
Nice. You sure? Oh, and the smelly room wasn't the comic books. It was the people reading.
No, it was the
comic
people.
books.
I mean, even way back then, Comic-Con still had a funk.
Yes.
And you walk into any comic book store that is packed on a hot sunny day, and you'll still get that smell.
Free comic book day.
Oh God!
Oh yeah.
It's
No
both,
AC.
It's both nostalgic and disgusting. But no, from there I just grew into this huge nerd. I watched Star Trek. I mean, I was like, oh yeah, this is pretty good, but it still couldn't top my first love
Right.
of Star Wars.
And I think when you're introduced to some type of sci-fi at that young, your very first one, I think that kind of almost determines whether you're a Trekkie or.
I think you're right. I mean, I think it's your first love is always your strongest love.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
And-
like I love Star Wars, but it doesn't speak to me like Star Trek does, because Star Trek was
You
the one.
green-blooded hobgoblin.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
I
sorry.
know.
I know the war's over. I'm sorry.
The war's over, man. Come on, we're friends now. We're friends.
Yeah. You put your bat'leth away then. Then I'll put my DL-45 blaster away, hiding under the
You're not
table
going to
here.
shoot me first?
Hey, Han always shoots first. Let's be clear about that. And the first time I saw that in the remake, I'm like, did he just Night at the Roxbury that shit? Because if you watch it, they totally like CGI his head to the right and then
Really?
back. Oh yeah, it's totally like.
It's been so long since I've seen the originals but I hear
The untweaked versions.
Yeah, that it's been so long since I've seen those that I kind of almost forget like the little stuff that got changed.
Well, if you saw my post on the Average Geek Show official, Facebook.com, Disney is actually thinking about releasing a Blu-ray edition unaltered. So the original films, the way they were seen in theaters
Right.
before the special edition.
Yeah,
And
before Hayden Christensen was CGI'd in as Darth Vader.
hey, you guys have your J.J. Abrams shit. We have our CG special edition. Okay. Going off on that, I guess we should talk about what our show is going to be about.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we will do another show on J.J. Abrams. Also, you can follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook. We'll be giving you the latest updates on, of course, the new Star Wars. And
I'm really looking forward to that.
I will admit I had a little bit of a nerdgasm.
Yeah.
when I found out that Disney was going to do more movies.
Yeah.
And even though J.J. Abrams did do 2 Star Trek movies, at heart, he's a Star Wars fan.
Exactly. Like, he really brought, this is, of course, off topic, but he really brought a great edge, I think, to the Star Trek franchise, an edge that I thought it needed. That I always thought it kind of had, but it really needed more of it. At heart, he is a Star Wars fan, and I think he's going to do a great job.
Well, I think he's already doing a great job. He's already doing it justice, because I don't know if you saw, like a couple weeks ago, they released a video for the charity that they're starting.
Yes.
It's Force for Change.
Right. Awesome.
Which, by the way, donated $40. I'm winning that ticket.
Yes.
I'm going to London.
Yes.
But in this video, if you haven't seen it, shame on you. You should have your nerd card revoked right now. But in this video, you got a little sneak peek at what he's doing.
Yeah.
And he's going back to practical effects.
Yeah.
Back to guys in makeup.
Yeah.
And rubber suits.
It's
and
amazing.
It's great.
Yeah.
I'm so far, I'm happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just wonder what they're going to do with Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, they're gonna have to CG her, I think.
It'd be like X-Men Origins of Wolverine, when everybody saw Patrick Stewart for the first time.
Yeah.
I was sitting in the theater, midnight showing.
Yeah.
No joke. The entire theater, when Patrick Stewart came on screen, went, "Whoa."
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think he's ever had his skin stretched that tight.
Yeah, yeah. Patrick Stewart looks great for his age.
The man doesn't age.
Right, yeah. But that CG just made it worse. It's like, whoa, oh.
No, it's exactly that. It's, whoa, what happened? But, okay, so back on topic.
Yes.
Being that this is our inaugural show, you obviously have no idea what we're going to be talking about unless you've been following our Facebook page. This show is a little bit of everything. You know, we're average geeks. We're not uber geeks. We're not going to know all the little details unless it's Star Trek for Philippe and Star Wars for me.
Yeah.
You want to talk expanded universe, I'll talk all day long. And it upsets me that it's not canon anymore.
Right? Seriously.
But in this show, we are going to be discussing comic books. We're going to be discussing movies, TV, tech, cosplay, anything that has to do with the nerd world. We are going to be talking about
Toys, games, and I'm talking video games, board games, card games, role-playing games.
Dice games like Zombie Dice.
What's Zombie Dice?
Oh, we're going to have to do a whole show on just tabletop games.
Okay, because I have no idea what Zombie Dice is. So
I will introduce you to Zombie Dice.
Thank you.
We'll talk. And by the way, for those of you listening, Google is a thing that exists. So the other thing that we're going to be talking about is, of course, nerd news. Geeks in the news, nerd news, the latest gossip on the movies that are coming out. Yeah. We've got a little bit of that for you today. But anything that has to do with anything nerd, we're going to be talking about. And, of course, we're going to accent some things called squee-worthy moments.
Squee.
Squee. And that, of course, is stuff that gets us excited and that we're happy about.
Which, for Brian, that's exclusively Star Wars.
Not exclusively. I am quite excited about the third Hobbit movie.
I've only seen half of the first Hobbit movie. I haven't seen the second one.
You can turn your nerd card in on the door on your way out. No, we can remedy that.
Yeah.
And you are going to catch so much shit on the fan page. So, yeah, a little bit of everything. And also, like I said earlier in the show, we are going to be relying on you guys. We are average geeks. We know that there's a ton of uber geeks out there. And if there's something you want us to talk about, or there's something you want to tell us that maybe we don't know, maybe that we got wrong, do it in a nice way. We don't like trolls, but we do understand that they exist.
Yeah.
But, let us know. That's what our Facebook page is for. That's what Twitter is for.
Exactly. We really want everybody to, on a daily basis, Brian and I are just posting stuff left and right, stuff that we find, stuff that we'll grab off, the internets. And, we want people to comment on it. Tell us what you think about it. Are you excited? Do you hate it? Whatever. And if you guys find something cool out there, share it with us. We'd love to there's so much about stuff that we don't even know about that we want to find out about, and we hope that somebody shows us that.
Exactly. And if it doesn't necessarily have to be TV, movies, comic books, or anything. I am a huge fan of aeronautics. And you probably saw on the Facebook page, I posted a really cool video of an A-10 taking off on the Autobahn.
Oh, my God.
Sweet. It's a sweet little video clip.
Yeah.
Also, both Philippe and I are huge into music.
Yeah.
So we've started doing this thing called Music Mondays, where we find something really cool that's music related and we post it on Monday.
Heck yeah.
So this week's Music Monday was awesome. Queen's releasing a new album with unheard Freddie Mercury material.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm totally wondering, are they going to go on tour with the hologram Freddie?
That'll be interesting. I know right now they're touring with Adam Lambert. He was, I think, winner of American Idol. But I know beforehand they were going on tour with Paul Rogers.
Of Bad Company.
Yes. And Paul Rogers back in the day was awesome. Now his voice is aging. And it shows. And no one could be like Freddie Mercury.
No.
There's never, ever going to be another Freddie Mercury out there. Let's just say that.
So, talking about Queen and Paul Rogers, I got to tell you a story.
Okay.
For Christmas one year, my mom surprised me.
Yeah.
She got me tickets to see Queen and Paul Rogers when they came to town.
Really?
Yeah, I was stoked. The night of the concert, I had the stomach flu. I had 104 fever.
Shut up. Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
I could not go to the concert. She would physically not let me out of the house.
Oh, my goodness.
So she ended up taking somebody who went, and when they came back, I was like, tell me about it. Tell me, was it awesome?
Right.
And the person she took was like, it was okay. I'm like,
ah! Now, I've seen Paul Rogers on TV, and he's entertaining, but, it's just so hard to not compare him, especially when he's doing a Queen song, and not compare him to Freddie Mercury.
He got close. I mean,
there was some
I
stuff,
have the album,
yeah,
because they released a live album of Queen and Paul Rogers,
right,
and it's not bad,
right,
but again, he's not Freddie.
Yeah. And Adam Lambert, I mean, he has the range. He has a good voice. He has the range, not like Freddie's, of course, and not the voice of Freddie's.
Bitch.
What's that?
I didn't say anything. I said nothing. I said nothing.
So yeah, no, that'll be cool if they do. Freddie needs to be the next person they do a hologram representation of.
Absolutely.
I'm actually really surprised that it's taken them this long.
Well, they had to get there are a lot of people out there that feel they had to get the big ones out of the way. Tupac and Michael.
Michael Jackson, I saw that just a few days ago, and it blew my mind.
See, it didn't blow my mind.
It was a little repetitive. His motions were a little repetitive. And I did see some flaws, but I thought the new song was great, and I thought it was a great tribute to Michael. And
Definitely.
It blew my mind. It really did. It was great.
It was a great tribute to Michael Jackson. To me, it looked like a guy wearing a mask.
I can see that.
If you look carefully, the video's up on YouTube if you can find it. It keeps going up and down because of licensing rights and all that. Which, by the way, feel free to share this show.
Totally.
But if you look closely at the video, anytime they do a close up on his face, it looks like a guy wearing a Michael Jackson mask.
Yeah.
And doing the moves.
Right. I agree. I totally agree.
Now, the Tupac one was shot far enough back. There was no little zoom in, so you couldn't see stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, of course, it blew everybody's mind.
Right.
Plus,
it was the first of its kind.
Holograms.
Yeah.
We're living in the future.
Exactly.
What was it that Conan O'Brien does? In the year 3000. Anyway, so with that, let's jump into some news. What do you say?
All righty.
All right. So a lot happened this week as far as movie news goes. A lot of big things released.
Yeah.
First and probably the biggest news, Jurassic World. Dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, of course, the biggest news is that a lot of the plot has kind of been exposed for the Jurassic World movie.
Okay.
So I'll just give you some quick highlights here. First thing is that, of course, it's going to take place in a fully functioning Jurassic Park.
Wow.
Like up and running on Isla Nublar.
Huh.
Up and running. And the director who did an interview with JoeBlow.com, this is Colin Trevorrow, said, yeah, this is going to take place on Isla Nublar in a fully functioning Jurassic Park. It's going to have a golf course, restaurants, and some sort of nightlife, which, of course, you think of
Wow.
like a Jurassic Park themed dance club.
So it's actually something that's working, that's up
Yeah.
and running and working.
Yeah, so and that kind of puts in my mind, are we alternate universing this or what?
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to find out.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, another part of the plot is that the park is becoming blasé. It's becoming mundane. You know, the director said the way we approached this movie was basically a teenager would rather text his girlfriend than stare at a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I don't care what world or what planet you're from or what time that you're from. Being at a dinosaur park is never going to be blasé. I'm sorry. Like,
Well-
there's a Tyrannosaurus Rex in front of me. I think I'm just going to text my boyfriend or my girlfriend. Or really?
That's what they're saying. That's their approach to this movie.
God.
So,
Oh.
now, because the park has become blasé, they've been forced to create genetically modified dinosaurs.
Oh, jeez.
Meaning that they are splicing dinosaur DNA with other creatures. So, now apparently they will still look like dinosaurs, but they're going to be bigger, louder, and more teeth.
Piranhaconda.
Well, I think with this one, the new major threat is going to be some kind of cross between a cuttlefish, a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and some type of pit viper.
Dude, I already don't want to see this. This
I
is
know.
just ridiculous.
As soon as they brought in cuttlefish, I was like, done.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to give it a chance. You got to at least give it a chance. It's Jurassic Park, dude.
Yeah. You know, I only watched the first two. I never watched the third one.
Save yourself the pain.
Really? Well, I thought the second one wasn't that great. I was like,
It was
the first one I thought was amazing.
First one is amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I actually liked the second one. And
Okay.
hate on me if you will. But the character of Ian Malcolm and just how they had that all set up, it worked for me.
Right.
Being a San Diego native,
Yeah.
it's cool to see your city on the big screen.
Right, right.
You know, it just seemed like, oh my God, Cedar and Ash. I know where those streets are.
Right, yeah, yeah.
It's supposedly set in present day.
Okay.
22 years after the first attempt. Can you believe it's been 22 years since the first
Dude, you're
Jurassic
making
Park?
me feel old.
I feel old. I read that. I read that. I'm like, hey, I remember when that was in theaters. I am old. But like I said before, it's not clear if the two sequels will have occurred or even if the first movie has occurred.
Right, right.
But this is supposed to be John Hammond's dream fully envisioned,
Okay.
which I want to see. I think that's going to be cool. So the next thing is, and this was just released today, the day that we're recording this.
Yes.
Josh Brolin is Thanos in Guardians of the Galaxy.
You know, I'm excited about that.
I think he'll do well. He's got to
Yeah.
do a better job than he did in Jonah Hex.
Yeah, and you know, it's good because he won't really be doing live action. You know.
Oh,
I
they're
guess.
going to have the little ping pong balls on sticks.
Yeah, so he won't
Mocap.
really be doing live action. That's my guess. That's my hope.
Well, I mean, the little bit that we saw, was it Avengers?
Yes.
Of Thanos turning and smiling at the
Yeah,
camera.
looks just like Josh Brolin.
You know, now that I think about it, it kind of does.
So it makes you wonder how long they've had him in mind. But no.
Well, apparently they cast him when they cast everybody else
Oh,
for
okay.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
And they're just now releasing this.
Right.
Because I don't think when they first announced Guardians of the Galaxy that they were even acknowledging that Thanos was going to be the major
Yeah,
villain.
I never heard that at all.
So this is kind of a surprise.
Yeah.
Now, Here is an announcement that I have mixed feelings about.
Okay.
First of all, Gambit is going to be in the next X-Men movie.
Right. And Gambit.
Gambit is the guy that throws the
cards.
The cards,
right,
yeah.
And didn't we already see him in Wolverine?
Yeah, and I thought that actor did a fine job.
Yeah.
Gambit has always been one of my favorite X-Men.
Yeah, he's a lot of people's favorite.
Oh, yeah. Well, he was badass in the cartoon.
Yeah, yeah.
But here's the not-so-good part.
Okay.
He's being played by Channing Tatum.
Duke from G.I. Joe.
Duke from G.I. Joe, also known as Magic Mike. That's right, folks. Mr. Stripper is playing Gambit.
He's going to have to lose a lot of muscle because Gambit wasn't. Well, I mean,
Gambit's kind of a beanpole.
Yeah, yeah. He's not like this freaking beefcake.
No, but you know what? I'm willing to give it a chance. I will always give something a chance.
Like Ben Affleck as Batman.
That hurts. I'm holding off final judgment. I'm hoping for the best, but I am prepared for the worst on that.
Veiny Batman.
Oh no, I got to tell you, I'm enjoying the hell out of sad Batman.
Oh
memes.
my god, the memes that are coming out from Batman are fantastic.
Especially the one at Joffrey's wedding.
Yes,
that was
yes,
great.
Oh my god.
Or I'm sorry, not Joffrey's wedding, Joffrey's funeral.
Yes.
Thank God that little bastard's dead. I'm sorry, did I say that out loud? Anyway, so yeah, we'll see what happens with that, and especially the Batfleck.
Batfleck.
I think that's what they're calling it now.
Oh god.
But let's be honest, the Batmobile looks cool.
Yeah, the Batmobile does look cool. I've really taken a liking to the Tumbler. I love the Tumbler.
That's what I love about this new Batmobile. It's like a cross between
the Tumbler
and Tim Burton's Batmobile, which is it's unique.
Yeah.
So thank God it's not like Val Kilmer's Batmobile.
Oh dear God, that was just.
I'm looking at you, Joel Schumacher. Nipples on the bat suit.
After Val Kilmer, that's when it just went.
No. After Michael Keaton is when it went.
Oh yeah. What I meant to say was when Val Kilmer starred in it. It just went downhill.
They did an interview recently with Joel Schumacher, and he finally apologized for the Batman
thank
films.
God.
He even said somebody at that period in time, I could have done with a good slap. It's like, I'm happy to oblige anytime. Come see me at Comic-Con.
Exactly.
I'll help you out.
Exactly. Seriously.
But it's Zack Snyder, though, so it has a chance.
Yeah.
It definitely has a chance. And Kevin Smith, who's a huge Batman fan, is on board.
Yeah.
So if Kevin Smith and Zack Snyder, I can give it a chance.
And quite honestly, even though it does have Ben Affleck, the whole Daredevil thing, but it has Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill is Superman, and I really, really enjoyed The Man of Steel.
It had its high points.
Yeah. So, and I think Henry Cavill does a lot better of a job as Superman than Brandon Routh did, even though I didn't have any problem with Brandon Routh as Superman. But
that was the Bryan Singer Superman.
Yeah.
That had a chance. X-Men director.
It really did. I didn't think it was bad as people said it was, But
Marvel has a tendency to be more soft and plushy than DC. DC,
yeah. I
am a Marvel fan. Let's first off say that.
Yeah.
I like certain aspects of DC, Batman, Aquaman. Well, I'm going by Aquaman in the New 52 because he's a badass. But DC has some good stuff, and I'm a huge Arrow fan.
Yeah.
Which, if you haven't checked out that TV show, you're missing out.
Still catching up, man. Still catching up.
Oh, so many little Easter eggs in that show. Anyway, Marvel has always been kind of softer and plushier, and DC has always had a harder, darker edge.
Right.
I mean, they got Frank Miller to do the Batman comics.
Right.
And those of you who've seen Sin City know how messed up Frank Miller can be.
Right.
So when it comes to having a Marvel director direct a DC movie, it's going to be a little softer. It's going to be a little plushier.
Exactly.
But, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, I enjoyed the heck out of The Dark Knight. I'm hoping they're bringing in a lot of elements from that.
Yeah, me too.
But, I mean, when it comes to movies, I think DC is struggling to find their rhythm.
Right.
Where Marvel is just like bang, bang, bang,
right.
hitting on all cylinders.
Yeah.
But I digress. So, the other piece of news we have here, Fantastic Four movies coming out.
Yes.
It was just announced today that they are going to put a more serious tone on the Fantastic Four movies.
Okay.
Not as much joking as there was in the first one. There was a lot of back and forth banter that kind of cheapened the movie, it felt like.
Okay.
So this one, they're going a little more serious, more of a darker undertone.
Interesting. Okay.
So that's all that we know about that movie at this time. But we'll see where it goes.
And they can't have Captain America being the Human Torch. So
Yeah.
they're like, wait a minute, what's the Captain doing?
I just thought I'd stroll by, cross a few things off my pocketbook list. So the last bit of news, and it's kind of a WTF,
Yep.
trying to keep the cursing to a minimum here. James Gunn has left Ant-Man as the director.
I saw that. That's crazy.
Yes, but they have 3 directors in the running.
Okay.
The director of We Are the Millers,
Okay.
the director of Zombieland.
Interesting.
Oh, I'm sorry. James Gunn was not the director of Ant-Man. It was Edgar Wright,
Okay.
who's the director on Ant-Man. I guess James Gunn is producing Ant-Man.
Okay.
But, oh, yes. So the 3 directors in the running are We're the Millers' Rawson Marshall Thurber. Say that 5 times fast.
Yeah, right.
Zombieland's Ruben Fleischer. Yeah, good, strong German name. And Anchorman's Adam McKay. So correct me if I'm wrong,
That's an
but all
interesting
3 of those
bunch.
movies are comedies.
Yeah, that's are they going for the Guardians of the Galaxy type of feel with it now?
You know, with James Gunn at the helm, I would assume so.
Okay.
But, I guess a lot of this is going to depend on how well Guardians of the Galaxy does.
Right.
Which, if you've seen the previews, it's pretty badass.
Yeah, it looks really good.
So, but
Although I'm still kind of upset that David Tennant isn't
Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But that was just a rumor.
right.
That was just a rumor. It
Right.
would have been an awesome rumor if
Yeah,
it was true.
exactly.
But if you can't tell, we're Whovians.
Yep.
So that's going to be interesting. We'll
Yes.
see where that goes.
Definitely.
Now, as far as television goes,
Mm-hmm.
did you see the little Easter egg in Arrow?
I'm not caught up yet, dude.
It was probably about 6 episodes back.
I'm still not that. No, I'm not caught up yet.
We discussed this, Philippe.
Dude, I know. I've been trying to put all this together, bro.
Yeah, you and me both, but I still have time to watch Arrow.
I have a kid.
Who can watch Arrow?
Well, I don't know about that.
It's on TV, dude, and it's on basic cable.
Yeah, but on at night.
You know what I'm hearing?
Wah, 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 wah,
I'm
wah,
hearing
wah, wah.
excuses.
Oh, I see.
Not reasons, excuses.
Okay.
But anyway, for those of you who have seen it, and I am going to spoil it, it's a little Easter egg, but how cool was Harley Quinn? Just that little snippet.
Oh.
Go on YouTube, look it up. It's awesome.
Okay.
Just type in like Harley Quinn on Arrow. It's
If
awesome.
you can't tell, Brian loves Harley Quinn.
I am a huge Harley Quinn fan, which, by the way, comic books, if you haven't checked out Harley Quinn, she's got her own comic book series
Nice.
now, and it's awesome. It's hysterical.
I've heard some really, really good things about it.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's totally Harley Quinn. When I read it, I can hear Tara Strong's voice saying,
Nice.
just, hi, Puddin'. That's a horrible impression, but, that's what you get. But definitely check out Harley Quinn. It's at your local comic book store. I think we're only on issue 6.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
Talk to your local comic books. They can order it for you.
Yeah.
If they can't, find a new comic book store.
Yeah.
But
and if for some reason all these comic book stores around you can't find it for you, eBay.
All right, so I'm going to play you a little clip here.
I can't believe you're on board with this. Those men are murderers.
And what's the number of bodies between Oliver Queen and Sarah Lance?
What they do? What I do is completely different.
Not really, John. Don't you see that?
What I see is you letting the man who killed my brother roam completely free.
It's not freedom. It's work.
It's wrong.
Do you cuties need some counseling? I'm a trained therapist.
Is that Harley Quinn?
That was totally Tara Strong's voice as Harley Quinn.
Really?
That's why you need to watch Arrow. If you haven't started watching
Does
Arrow,
it show her? I don't.
it does. It shows the back of her head.
Huh, okay, cool.
But the director of the episode said, "Yeah, we wanted to do a little nod to Harley Quinn, because if you read the comics,
Yeah.
Harley Quinn is at one point a part of the Suicide Squad.
Interesting. Okay.
So if you're not there yet, I apologize.
Damn you, Brian. Damn you.
But no, there's a lot of rumors floating around Arrow right now because the season finale, holy crap.
Don't spoil that for me.
I'm not going to spoil anything. Go check it out. Go watch it. Hulu. I think the first season's on Netflix right now.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of speculation that says that Harley Quinn may become a regular character on Arrow.
That'd be awesome.
I think that's what the fans want.
Yeah.
But we don't know their grand plan for Arrow.
Right.
But all I got to say, Stephen Amell needs to be in the Justice League movie.
Yeah.
And, of course, we've got Flash coming up.
Yep. Yep.
Flash.
That's looking good. That's looking good.
I think they're going to do a really nice job with it. You know, we've already seen kind of some of the characters that are going to be in the show. They've made appearances on Arrow. Mm-hmm. But we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it. There's a lot of exciting stuff going on in the nerd world, and I think it's great because we're finally having our time
Totally.
where it's cool to be a nerd.
Yeah, exactly.
It's cool to be a geek.
Exactly. So all those people that made fun of me, screw you.
I still know some of them, of my tormentors, so I'm going to be nice.
I'm not. Screw you. Screw you all.
Damn you to hell. So with that, I think we're going to wrap. Stay tuned because our next show is going to be awesome.
Yep. We just went to the movies last week, and we have a review for you.
And that review is...
Godzilla.
Oh, yeah. So periodically what we're going to do is we're going to have these spoiler casts where we basically give the movie a review. We talk about it, what we liked, what we didn't like. Maybe we talk about some of the lore surrounding it. Like with Godzilla, we could have a whole kaiju discussion. But we really need your input, guys. What did you think of Godzilla? What do you think about kaiju? You know, it doesn't have to be just Godzilla. We can talk about Pacific Rim. We can talk about Mothra, who has ties to Godzilla. But it could be anything.
Yeah.
So go on Facebook, leave your comments out there. We're going to release these shows about once a week. At least we're going to try to.
Yes.
It will be some sort of set schedule.
Yes.
So definitely participate. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. If you're listening to us through Facebook, download iTunes and subscribe. That way you never miss an episode.
Totally.
Don't forget to follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Average Geek Show Official or on
Twitter at Average Geek Show. And of course, you can, if for some reason you are on some other type of planet that doesn't believe in Twitter or Facebook, you can check out our website at www.averagegeekshow.com.
All right, and with that, we are out.
See ya.